Hello, everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Javid Thomas, co-founder of Race Equality Matters, along with the fantastic Raj Tulsiani of Green Park, a global talent advisory firm. Today's event is all about get ready for Race Equality Week 2024, 5 months to go. It kind of feels there's a bit of time, but before we know it, we've got Black History Month and then there's Christmas in the middle of it. It'll come. So this is all to give you plenty of time. It's the most biggest complaint we had when we launched or created it. We need more time. So actually, we give you 12 months notice normally. So this is to help you on that. Next slide, please. This will be a very interactive and collaborative event. So we're delighted to see the numbers growing. There are 200 plus organizations today. We're expecting from over 130 organizations in the UK and beyond. On the screen, you can see East and Southeast Asian Heritage Month, or ESEA Heritage Month, some may call it. We hear from many organizations, ESE colleagues can often be forgotten about and feel underrepresented and also without a voice. Going forward, we're looking to help amplify their or your voice if you're in the room. This year's theme, Roots, Roots spelt two ways, is an exploration of cultural identity and belonging. It's to delve into the narratives of family journeys and stories, celebrating the rich tapestry of experiences that contribute to diverse and vibrant heritage. So it's a relatively new, I think it's the second or third year, but it's important that we're aware of it like all the other cultural things we do. So we're wishing all those involved in it an impactful rest of the month. As soon as this finishes, we're into Black History Month. I think it's good, the race is on the calendar, all year round. Thank you. Just to say, what we do know, the people attend today range from Brighton to Birmingham. We've got Exeter to Edinburgh, Newcastle to Nairobi, and Preston to Paris. So we're going a bit more beyond Brighton. So you were the furthest initially. Okay, thank you. Next slide. Before we start, a bit of housekeeping to support you. As you know, we're helping to make our events more accessible. Hence, when you register, we do ask you if there are any accessibility arrangements we can offer to support. We will try our best. We can't do it all, but we'll do as much as we can, but do give us tips as well. This includes closed captioning, which is enabled in the main session. So that's available for you all. We have a recommended solution. So when you go to the virtual breakout group, there'll be a link in the chat, which again will provide some captioning for you. This event is being recorded, so you can access it later, because we appreciate some people might like to watch it. The breakout sessions are private, so that isn't recorded at all. And slides will be provided in the later in the month as well. Your sound will be auto disabled, so please do share ideas and questions in the chat. We'll do our best to respond to any questions. Just for you to know, the chat will be extremely busy following each virtual breakout session because we want people to put some comments in the chat. So a heads up in case you need to switch it off if you're utilizing accessible tools, because you'll get lots of pinging. I appreciate that. Please tweet and post social media content during and after the event to help us grow and reach a wider community of change makers like yourselves to make a greater impact on tackling race inequality. This is a bit of a numbers game, I guess. If everyone's on board, that's how we solve this problem. Next slide. Over the next action-packed hour and a quarter, I said it's going to be interactive. You'll have the opportunity to be part of State of the Nation polls and collaborate with each other. You'll be the first to hear the theme for Race Equality 2024. You may have seen in social media some teasers, so it'll be interesting if anyone's worked it out. You'll see a highlight of 2023. And it's a video which you can all access and use. You'll hear about current and new solutions you can utilize for Race Equality Week. Help us shape a Race Equality Week event. So we want your thoughts and ideas on that. And we'll finish at 1:45. Importantly, also, the aim today is for you to leave with 50 plus ideas that you can share, with your organization or use for Race Equality Week. And we collect all your ideas and we'll send them again in next week or two. Next slide. We know there are quite a lot of people attending today who are new to Race Equality Matters, and we welcome you all, and also hello to those that are coming back. We exist to enable impactful change. We provide free tools, free resources, and free events like today. So for race networks and other change makers like you in organizations across the UK and beyond. So far, we've designed and co-created 6 impactful solutions in collaborations with people like yourself with lived experience of race inequality. And I can see some of you in the room today. With more in development, our solutions so far include, and these are all accessible on the website for free, Race Equality Week, which is the 5th to 11th of November. Please put in your diaries. You should have it. You should have the date for 2033 in your diaries already. The reason being is because it's always the first Monday in February. So there you are. We don't have to guess and wonder when it's going to be. Next solution was Tea Break, which was co-created with Network Rail's Cultural Fusion Network, who are a fantastic group of people. Tea Break is a framework for an organization-wide theme discussion to enable you to hear the honest voice and feelings of your colleagues across your organization about issues that matter most. We also had Mental Health First Aid England be part of the co-creation of it to make sure we keep people safe through what can be uncomfortable and emotional conversations. Then we've got the Big Promise, which is all about moving us from just words into meaningful and impactful action. My Name Is, which is all about making sure we say each other's names correctly. And for Race Equality 2022, with our tool, it reached 1.7 billion people, which Green Park and Edelman helped us create. Then we've got Safe Space Plus, which is a facilitated dialogue between EXCO board members and ethnically diverse colleagues, is to get in front of the key decision makers. What it does, it enables brave conversations, uncomfortable conversations. We can't avoid uncomfortable conversation, but the important thing about it, it drives action and meaningful change. It's not just a listening circle. That's why we call it Safe Space Plus, because we know a lot of organizations do safe space. And next slide, the 5-day challenge, which some of you may have participated in this year, and we'll explain more about that later. Next slide. We provide all these solutions, how to do it right guides and workshops free to individuals like yourselves. So it removes any barriers you face in tackling race inequality because you haven't got budgets. Yeah, we've taken that away. Next slide. Crucially, they all focus on making a significant impact. As you see on screen, this is the feedback we have of the difference it will make in tackling it. We often get asked also if we can provide facilitators for Safe Space Plus or Tea Break. What we'd like, we're a very small, slim team. So if you would be interested in becoming a facilitator, or you know a good facilitator out there, please let us know in the poll at the end, because we want to try and build an associate of facilitators that we can get it out. And on this occasion, we are not for it, but we will pay for the facilitator. Okay. All of this, next slide, please. All this would not be possible without the financial support of our key partners. So big, huge thank you to key partners, Lloyd's of London and Green Park, who together power Race Equality Week. It makes it possible and free and get lots of fantastic resources. Next slide. Also, big thank you to our organization, the Collaboratory, and lifetime visionary partner BT, and also partners Auto Trader, HS2, Edelman, and Network Rail. And we have a new partner that we're going to announce in a sec. All these organizations' support means we can run this Race Equality Week, and you as change makers can access all our other resources for free. It's not sustainable without money. If you would like to find out more how you can partner, donate, support, or marketing or sponsorship opportunities, do get in touch. Please do. Yeah, as I said, generally, without the money coming in, we can't keep this going. So if you think there's value in what we're doing, please do get in touch. Next slide. We're also delighted to announce a brand new funding partner, Amy PLC, who are actually not just words, with active allies and making an impact. They're also a double Race Equality Matter trailblazer. So it's fantastic to have them a partner. We know the difference they're making. And they've become a partner because they've seen the difference we're making and they want to help us help you. So a big warm welcome. You more for them in the future. Next slide. Before we start, as you know, we'd like to do a State of the Nation poll. So if you could all take part in it, anyone that's had to speak, was sent a link today called event attendee, you won't be able to take part in the poll. So we do apologize for that. Okay. So if we can launch the poll, that'd be fantastic. Thank you all for participating in the poll. Question 1, as we can see, 59% here are allies and 40% ethnically diverse or appropriate equivalent. Question 2, what roles do people play in their organizations? 20% senior leaders, 19% HR, 38% D&I representatives. We've got 20% race network members and 14% race network leads. There's 18% others. So obviously the majority here today are D&I leads, and it's great to have you all. Question 3, did organizations participate in Race Equality Week 2023? 41% said yes, 34% no, and 26% of you unsure. Let's get that 41% up by the end of today's event. Question 4. Has your organization implemented any of the following REM solutions? So got quite a mix here. The top one is My Name Is, 32%, so 1 in 3 of you. 23%, the 5-day challenge. Then we got 11% the Big Promise, 8% say Space Plus, 9% Tea Break. 38% of you believe you've done none of the above, and 70% not sure. Now, these are fantastic solutions that make a huge difference. So it'd be fantastic if you do have a look at them, because you'll see later on in the presentation the difference and impact they make. Question 5. Do you feel your senior leaders and managers are committed to tackling race inequality? 44% saying yes, so that's a decent number. And then a further 50%, a little but not enough. And sadly 4% saying no. It's a little but not enough is what we want to move into the yes category. And later today we'll talk about an event for Race Equality Week to help engage and help your senior leaders and managers drive change. Question 6. Are your senior leaders and managers making an impact in tackling race inequality? So where we had 44% believe their managers are committed, we're seeing only 21%. That's only 21% believe they are making an impact. And again, a huge 68%, a little bit, but not enough. Again, we need to help them understand and help support them to make a greater difference. Question 7. In your organisation, of those who are not ethnically diverse, approximately what percentage are tackling race inequality? And if we look at the bottom 3 echelons there, so up to 24%, which adds up to 63%. So literally 2/3 of you believe less than 25% of non-ethnically diverse colleagues are making a difference. If we look at the other end of the scale, it was 74% believe the majority, or 75 to 100% of non-ethnically diverse colleagues are making a difference. So this is something we really have to start moving. Question 8. Overall, how well do you think your organisation tackles race inequality? So 30% or 33% say well and really well. So that's 1 in 3, which is fantastic. So we'd love to hear from you and find out what's making a difference. And then 38% saying a little, and 28% saying not enough and not at all. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. Question 9. How often do you believe microaggressions occur in your organisation? We've got 13% saying not sure, and 5% can't answer as they're not sure what they are. So that's something we have to maybe help inform a bit more. But more importantly, only 15% say happens rarely or not at all. And then 68% saying happens occasionally, quite often, a lot or daily. But if we take out those that are not sure, can't answer the question, this is 83%. So 83% of you believe racial microaggressions are happening in the organisation. And then a key thing is, how often are they called out by colleagues? The key numbers are towards the bottom, quite often and regularly. That's only 9%. So that leaves 91% of people not calling it out. We have 32% saying occasionally, 24% saying hardly ever, then further 5% never. Later we'll talk about a new solution to help support colleagues call it out. So thank you for contributing to this, and on to the next part. So next slide, please. So to get us into the Race Equality Week zone, here's a short video showcasing what happened in, I keep saying last year, but it was in February 2023. Thank you, Sam.
Race equality is everyone's business because it's not the obligation of ethnic minorities to create an inclusive and fair working environment. That's everybody's responsibility. And when an organization, a working environment is inclusive, it benefits everyone. And that's why it's everyone's business.
Racial equality is everyone's business because it is not only the right thing to do, it is in our best interest to do so. When some members of a society are denied equal opportunities or are treated unfairly because of their race, it has a ripple effect that impacts all of us. We all want to live in a society that is fair and just, where everyone has the opportunity to succeed and reach their full potential. By working together to promote race equality, we can create a more inclusive and harmonious society for all of us.
Very welcome to the opening event for the third Race Equality Week.
Play the role of an equality detective and give all of your people the tools to play that role so that this becomes everyone's business, not just the chief exec or the EDI manager or the HR team or the people with the lived experiences and the people experiencing the disadvantage.
I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
Hi, I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
GI Group Holding is doing the 5-day challenge.
Some of you asked after this event, we'll give you the link so you can use a video. It's a good promotional video to encourage people in your organization to do it. Hopefully, we can have you or your organizations on next year's video. So there's an opportunity. Hopefully, and also shows the big difference it makes. Next slide, please, Sam. Okay, so and then here's some stats of the difference it makes. But the most important thing, next slide is, what I know a number of you want to know is what's the theme for this year. So as you heard from Mark and who you're talking about, it's everyone's business, and that's still key. It's everyone's business, and we provided solution ideas how to make this possible. So we want to build on that, and how do we make it everyone's business and take it to the next level? And many of you have helped feed into the theme for 2024. Next slide, please. So as Barack Obama would say, change will not come if we wait for another person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. So we need to think about from ourselves, what are we doing to help tackle it? And again, colleagues need to be thinking that. So how do we make this change happen in your organization? So got no budget, but we're going to do drum roll. Drum roll, please. You can bang your tables, bang your pens or whatever. I can hear it. So for this VIP and exclusive announcement, we're delighted to announce by popular demand, you, the community, have voted that the theme for Race Equality Week to be, next slide, listen, act, change. Listen, act, change. So you think if we live and breathe them, the meanings behind them words, it will make a big, big difference. So listen, act, change. So from now on, we'll be sharing this and also giving you tools and guides and how to make it possible in your organization. But that's a message to give you people. I think there is a lot of listening. I think people are doing more listening, but are we doing the acting and are things changing? Maybe less on that side. So that's why it's important. We mustn't forget we still need to listen and learn from each other. Okay. Okay. So next slide, please. So organizations will be able to sort of call it, say, for example, on the communication challenge, as an organization, you can put the company's name, we're committed to listen, act, change, tackle race inequality, and we'd like to know what they're doing. Yeah, we don't want this black square moment. It's what are we doing? We're going public with our ethnicity pay gap or whatever. And again, as an individual, I've committed to listen, act, change, tackle race inequality. So let's get this trending. Listen, act, change. Okay, and it's more than a hashtag and more than a social media post. That's important. It's not a hashtag. Yeah, that's just basic. So, I want, what have you done, as well with the hashtag? So next slide, please. So help to support you and your organizations bring this to life. As we always do, we've co-created with the community some new solutions to help your organization and colleagues. They are still in development, but along with the Race Equality Week 2024 resource pack, they will be available in November. If not sooner, we'll let you know. So, but we'll give you an exclusive sneak preview of what they are. Next slide. The first new solution is based on the success of this year's 5-day challenge, with 75% of people wanting version 2 with new challenges. Okay, so version 1 you can still use. If you haven't done it, use it. But actually, version 2 is what we're building. So next slide. For those new to the 5-day challenge, in a nutshell, it's simple. It's a set of 5 challenges that each take 5 minutes over 5 days. We all have 5 minutes, whether it's waiting for the bus, whether it's making a coffee, whether we're daydreaming, looking out the window, wishing we were somewhere else. We've all got 5 minutes. Okay. Next slide, please. They include a series of self-reflection, eye-opener questions, a 2 to 4 minute video, and resources to enable and encourage change. Okay. The activities are bite-sized and accessible to maximize colleagues' level of engagement. Organizations are still implementing it. So again, if you didn't use 5-day challenge before, and many may be using it for Black History Month as well. So please feel free to use that. Yeah, it's a brilliant tool created by yourselves that makes a huge difference. The next slide. So built by the community, as I said, it includes different daily challenges with different themes. So the themes for 2024, day 1 will be on microaggressions, day 2, representation, day 3, allyship, day 4, belonging, and day 5, the big promise. So this is where, after the week, we commit to action. Okay, so we've done the listening and the learning, but it's the action change. Next slide. To support your organization to implement it, we will once again provide a guide for the project managers, and they'll be ready to go downloadable PDFs for each day that can be distributed to your employees or accessed via your organization employee portal. We'll go through all this in our November Get Ready for Race Equality Week event with details coming soon. Next slide, please. Let's hear what some of the organizations that implemented it had to say. What was good about the 5-day challenge 2023?
You could fit it into your day, regardless how busy your schedule is. So whether it be, having self-reflection in the morning on the way to work, at the end of the day, or taking 5 minutes out of a team meeting to do an activity together, it allowed people to have that kind of almost like a meditation time or a thinking time to work on those activities, and it not to become too much of a burden in your day-to-day life.
It was really nice to see nearly 100 people taking time out of their day to commit to race equality within our company. And it was from all different departments, people that we may have not met, and seeing them wanting to learn and drive some change.
What impact did the 5-day challenge have in 2023?
I think it was just a first step to have conversations about race, and sometimes it sounds like a difficult topic, and it was just opportunity to raise something that is difficult sometimes to talk about, but in a smooth way, let's say. So the eye openers, like the solutions that were proposed, just help to open these conversations that sometimes are difficult. So it really given us the opportunity to be more open, to drive more topics across the year, because it was literally just the beginning of the year, great activity to go forward. So yeah, I think that was one of the biggest impact. And on the other side, also was a good opportunity for the network as well. So just to help us to have more visibility, to show that we could do activities and propose things that in an easy way could really drive change.
How will your organization take part in the 5-day challenge in 2024?
We're planning to do it over the month rather than a week. So if someone's on training or on holiday, they can still partake. We also want to create more visibility in the office by having a pledge board where people can make their big promise and add it on a big board, so it feels like a bigger community and everybody can take part of it, and we can also advertise the event. And we're really wanting to get more senior leaders involved. And now that we have an exec sponsor in the company again, hopefully he can get more of the higher level within the company into our Race Equality Week.
So here's an example of one from last year's 5-day challenge that we can just quickly go through. So this is the eye opener, self-reflection. If you come across someone who has a name that's unfamiliar to you, do you avoid saying their name? Have a go and hope for the best? Have a go and ask if you've pronounced it correctly? Check with them how to say their name first, or shorten their name to make it easy to pronounce. So just have a quick think about how you'd go about that normally. Then what we do, we have a little sciencey bit or theory bit saying the impact it has depending how you've answered them questions, and why it's important to check in with someone that you're getting someone's name right, and take a responsibility of them to correct you. And then there'll be a little mini video as well. So that's an example of one of last year's one, I said, which you can access. So here's a sneak preview of one for this year. If we could do next slide, please. Okay, how often do you read books, listen to music, or watch movies which expose you to different views and cultures? So how often do you read books, listen to music, or watch movies which expose you to different views and cultures? Never, rarely, occasionally, often, always. So again, have a think, where we're on that. And again, behind, after it, it'll explain, how we, learn or understand people of difference and different backgrounds and experiences, whether we've been exposed to it or not, because maybe in our own communities we haven't got access to that, but through media we can, especially with social media and lots of other things now. And I have to say Netflix. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so the second solution this year is a brand new one, and it's to help tackle one of the most common issues a common community talk to us a lot about, and many will face daily, and I appreciate many of you here will be facing, and it's microaggressions. Next slide. From our research 3 years ago, 95% of those interviewed experienced racial microaggressions, and a similar number witnessed others experiencing them. It's 83% in 2022, and I think we've done this year, it's about 86%, the figure so far. So 3 years on, microaggressions are still one of the most discussed issues the community faces, often daily. Next slide, please. The solution to help tackle it is called It's Not Micro. Okay, so some of you may have heard it, we've got to call it You Can't Say That, but we listened to the community and it might have felt a bit confrontational. So it's called It's Not Micro. And many of you say, I think, micro downplays it. And it will tie in with the theme, Listen, Act, Change. So next slide. We're going to hear a short video featuring Mark Lomas, Head of Culture from Lloyd's, who, as you know, along with Green Park, are powering Race Equality Week. He's going to share his thoughts and experiences about microaggressions. Thank you. How would you describe microaggressions?
For me, microaggressions are like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not that an individual instance may have a huge impact on you. It's the accumulation of those instances across weeks, months, years, across workplaces. And the impact that a microaggression can have after a period of time can be fairly significant. It really can undermine confidence. It can undermine your trust in people. And in reality, microaggressions, it's not micro. They do have a big impact over time. And that's why it's important that we address the topic. And it's important people get comfortable being able to address microaggressions in the moment. That's why I really like the campaign, It's Not Micro. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
Appreciate for some people in the room, this is a sensitive topic, but please bear with us. And if you need to take a break, please do so. We saw early on that I think it was 9% think people regularly often call it out. So that's 91% not. We created It's Not Micro because 89% of allies, next slide please, said they would call out and challenge microaggressions. However, there is a but, and we'll come to this. So 89% said that they would call it out. Next slide. Many allies feel they don't know what to say. They don't know how to intervene, or they're uncomfortable when they challenge, when they hear them. And often this leads to no action, and a culture of allowing it in an organization remains. Okay. Next slide, please. It's Not Micro is a solution to enable allies to become active allies. We'd like to pose a question. Next slide, please. When you hear anything inappropriate, for example, where you're really from, your name's hard to pronounce, I don't see color, you people, you speak good English. And I've got to say, I thought it's so 70s stuff, but actually it's still coming up in our feeds. So when you hear these words, what do you do? Especially if you're an ally. Yeah. Next slide, please. Do you speak to the person who may have been offended later? Do you speak to the person who said it afterwards? Do you call it out in the moment? Do you speak to other colleagues afterwards asking what they thought? Or do you ignore it? So again, have a think about this. I guess what we're looking for is in the middle, call it out in the moment. But how many of us are doing that? And it sounded like 9% early on. Next slide, please. In a recent poll uncovered, only 16% of respondents believe microaggressions are regularly and quite often called out by colleagues. In today's room, it's 9%. So, we're down the bottom end of the scale. Next slide. 59% said microaggressions often aren't called out because people don't know how to. So we appreciate that. Next slide. 77% people have lack of confidence or courage, and we get and appreciate that. Next slide. 69% don't know what to say. We get it. Next slide. 42%, and this is very worrying to me, fear or consequence from the employer or the manager if I call it out. Next slide. We understand it's difficult when we have something new or different to do. And it's difficult when many of us do not like or avoid potential confrontation. But we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable to enable change to happen. because those who are the recipients of microaggressions have been comfortable all their lives. It hurts. So we're saying no more. However, we know the majority of people, allies, will not do anything or call it out or question it in the moment. But in the moment is key. People may not feel comfortable, don't want to be seen as an outsider, or not want to rock the boat. Therefore, the majority, by default, become bystanders. And this is not being anti-racist or an active ally. Anti-racists and active allies are different. They will speak up when something is not acceptable. They may ask, what do you mean by that? Can you clarify what you're trying to say? I'm sorry, that is not acceptable. I don't think it's okay to say that. I'm sorry, you can't say that. But they'll speak up. We need to listen, act, and change by skilling ourselves up, by getting used to calling it out. We need to get used to calling it out. We need to be comfortable calling out, and we need to make it normal part of our days in calling it out. So let's put this into context. Next slide. From our research, to meaningfully tackle race inequality, the person at the receiving end of the comment or the action, for example, being excluded, isn't the one who should be speaking up. For far too often, we have, and it doesn't work. The peer group, who may also feel the pain of the impact of what has been said to someone, again, it's not for them to speak up. It doesn't work. And these two groups are the minority. For significant and meaningful change to happen, it's for the allies, who are typically the majority, to become active and to speak up. This is where your colleagues and people in the room today and the majority of the staff can be the change. Next slide. So the idea behind the solution, It's Not Micro, is that it's launched during Race Equality Week, and you'll have the materials in advance and can prepare. Across the UK and beyond, we want all organizations to be part of this, to create a new movement, a new energy. The concept is that when someone hears something they feel is inappropriate or microaggression, they will say, what do you mean by that? This is a key phrase suggested by the Race Equality Matters community. It's not aggressive or confrontational, but it allows the person who made the comment to explain what they meant. Maybe they were just clumsy with their language, but it's a real education piece. If we're in a meeting and I said to someone, what do you mean by that? Then we could all hear and understand that it may have not been appropriate. Next slide, please. After explanation, if it still feels like a microaggression, then the active ally could say, that feels it's not micro to me because, so they can explain that. Then if you, another ally in the room, heard that, it should prompt you to think, actually, yeah, I heard what's been said, and you can become an active ally. You say, I agree, it's not micro to me too. An active ally needs to be supported too. Yeah, they can't do it on their own. So allies need to unite as well on this. This shows inappropriate language or behavior is not accepted or tolerated in your organization. We don't see enough of that. So by choosing wording that works for you, so these are words that we're suggesting, and there'll be other list. Whenever the need arises, you can say these simple but powerful words, e.g., what did you mean by that, or something else, in a calm, composed, and a non-aggressive but assertive way. Okay, what we're saying here is not in stone. It's a work in progress, but it's just to give you a sense of it. Yeah. Next slide, please. Like everything else that makes an impact, we just need to do it. And I have paid for this license before you get your lawyers onto us. We just need to do it and no longer be a bystander, allowing others to continue to get hurt. And it makes sense that we need to practice it so the words become natural and part of our everyday language. So it'll be easy to say them as and whenever needed. We don't pause when we hear it. We don't get stuck. We don't ignore what needs to be said. It becomes natural and we just do it. So let's hear from Mark Lomas again. Thank you. Why is it important for colleagues to hashtag listen, act, change when it comes to microaggressions?
It's important for colleagues to listen, act, and change around microaggressions because the reality is ethnically diverse people are still the minority in the workplace. And therefore, it's everyone's responsibility to put in place the change. And that's why for those allies, for colleagues, if you're ethnically diverse as yourself, the only way that we change is not only by understanding more, because that's the first stage, but the act is really important. That's the behavioral bit that comes with it. And when we form those habits, calling out microaggressions, being more educated, that's when the change happens. So colleagues, allies, ethnically diverse people themselves, us all acting together in concert to achieve change is why Listen Act Change is so important. It's about everyone playing their part.
What difference could hashtag It's Not Micro make?
It's important for colleagues to feel comfortable calling out microaggressions. And therefore, the benefit of a campaign like It's Not Micro is that it gives people a way of calling out microaggressions in the moment and it being widely understood what the intent and purpose is behind that. The research from Race Equality Matters shows that people feel uncomfortable calling out microaggressions in real time. So It's Not Micro is a campaign which allows people to do that in a recognized language.
Poll uncovered that 73% of people believe It's Not Micro will help tackle racial inequality and microaggressions. And we'd like to hear your thoughts. So what we're going to do is allow you all to go in breakout sessions. This is fresh in your mind and share your thoughts with each other. We've allowed 8 minutes, and as time will go fast, we suggest someone keeps an eye on the time in your group. We will give a 1-minute warning, which some of you may have experienced before in our events. We know some of you may feel uncomfortable going to a breakout session, so feel free not to do so if you don't want to, but the more in there, the merrier. Again, if you go into the room, you don't have to put your camera on. We appreciate on that. So the topic discussion is what will you need to do or what will help you implement It's Not Micro? So we know it's a great concept and it can make a real difference. So what do you need to do? What will help you implement It's Not Micro in your organization? I've seen someone said, can I have the slides that we present? Yeah, we'll provide all this information after. So you'll go into your groups for 8 minutes and then, yeah, we'll welcome you back. So good luck and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you. I had an interesting group. Can see some of the friendly faces there. Talking about leadership, how it's communicated, training and support, etc. What we're going to ask you now to do is if you can all just go into the chat and just write any thoughts or comments what will you need to do or what will help your organization implement It's Not Micro. So again, what we'll do is we'll collate all this, we'll anonymize it, and then we'll send it to you as a packet and it'll be in the guide. So this is where we get everyone's ideas of how to make it work. Because this, to me, this is simple in principle, but we just know the implementation of it doesn't always work. So what we want is all your top tips. So I can see someone, was Bernard saying training and resources. So he's quick off the mark. If you can all do that, I'll give you sort of 15, 20 seconds. Have a conversation or some kind of post, buying for the executive, absolutely senior leadership. So a lot of this will be in our how to do it right guide. And yeah, leadership needs to be really, really on board with it. I think the beauty about this, if the organization or head office don't buy into it, what people are saying, our department or our location will still run it. Because quite often things do come up on the ground, but senior leadership is key. So thank you for that. What we'd like to do is, Sam, you can take the thing now. This is where we do happy photo time. So just to again help generate the energy behind this, if we can just have those that are comfortable being in front of camera, we'll take some group shots and everything. I see people messing with their hair. People put on the eyeliner and the lippy. Okay. No ketchup stains for those that were eating things. That's good. Okay, fantastic. No children behind you putting faces. That's good as well. Okay, so Svetlana and Anna, if you can let us know when you've done, that'd be great. Thank you. Let's say some hello to some friendly faces I recognize. So Nitu, hi Nitu, so Bernard. Okay, good stuff. Are we done? Svetlana, and I can't hear you if you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. So thank you all for that. This will be on social media and you can use it. But I think it's really important just to show and a whole array of people, which is brilliant. So next slide, please. We'd now like you to help us to develop an event for Race Equality Week. So this is where you have a real say in it. So during the week, we have scheduled 4 events: an opening event and a closing event. Next slide. And 2 themed events that we're developing at the moment. Next slide. One of the themed events will be centered around leaders. And I think in my group, it was talked about leadership. And this is called, the theme is leading the change. Okay. We know that leadership buy-in is absolutely crucial to tackle race inequality, and without it won't happen. We therefore would like to create an event, the first of its kind, where we convene leaders with race networks and race champions and change makers. It will be, in effect, a mass reciprocal mentoring event. Okay. We would like to get everyone in the Race Equality Matters community, so that's all yourselves, and I know there's some leaders in the room, so you're very welcome as well, to bring a leader or 2 to this special event. So an ally with influence in your organization. It could be your race network sponsor, an EXCO member, a trustee, CEO, director, basically someone who has key influence and is leadership. More than one is great. The more, the merrier, okay? It will be a virtual event like this, and will be a great way for them to engage and do something in Race Equality Week. And this is more than a tip box, because this will be part of Listen, Act, Change. So how do we make this event a bit of a game changer? The thinking is to create a unique opportunity for interaction, engagement, and learning between you, the change makers, and leaders from across sectors throughout the UK and beyond. So it's a learning from each other. This will be done through 3 key virtual interactive collaborative discussion groups, like we've just done, but they'll be slightly longer. And the groups will be made up a mix of leaders and change makers from different organizations. So it's very unlikely you'll be with your own leaders. Yep. Next slide. The first one, breakout session, will be a chance for change makers to learn from leaders. The leaders will provide some career advice and share tips and key skills that they've built to progress in their careers and what you can do to succeed. Many of us will not have had the contacts or networks to hear the guidance from those at the top in our upbringings and our working careers. So this is for them to share top tips. Yep. Next slide, please. The second breakout session, the leaders will share what they are doing to enable their organization to tackle race inequality. So what are they doing, or how are their organization tackling it? And again, we can learn from them. Next slide, please. The third breakout is a chance of leaders to learn from yourselves as change makers and hear the voice of the community. This is when the community will share what they would like to see from leaders. This is what we want leaders to do to support tackling race inequality. So we don't want you to do this. We don't want you to do that. This is what we want you to do. So as a mass reciprocal mentoring concept, we hope that this will help people listen and on what they hear, act and create change. Okay, so that's the concept, okay? So what I'm going to do is you go to another breakout session for you to share your thoughts with each other on this concept. Again, if you don't feel comfortable going to the breakout session, please don't. There's a link for captions. Again, when you go into the breakout session, if your camera needs to be off, that's fine as well. Okay, so the topic of discussion is, for this event to make an impact, we really need leaders to attend. So the question is, how and what would encourage your leaders to attend this event during the week? So how and what, and we're not after the leaders that are don't care about race. Yeah, we appreciate that's how this is actually getting leaders along there. But the concept is a good one, I think. So if you can go into the group and have a discussion about that, we'll give you 8 minutes and then we'll see you back soon. So how and what would encourage your leaders to attend? Thank you. Okay, thank you. It's an interesting group. We're talking about, maybe lack of diversity in their community, so not being able to learn or exposed to it, and then also just many people don't get the opportunity to learn from leaders because of their community's background. So if we could just put in the chat your thoughts, what would you encourage your leaders to attend this event during Race Equality Week? I had one person saying it's be quite easy, someone would find it difficult. So how and what would encourage your leaders to attend this event? If you could just throw them in the chat, we'll collate this, and it'll be giving you all top tips. This is how you get your leaders to attend. And I know some of you got some good senior leader sponsors, and it'll be easy, and others not. So I see Nitu easy from Amy, and I'll say the newest funding partner for us. So big thank you to them and Nitu, who spoke last week. Video will be coming out soon on that one, Nitu. I'm just trying to do a deal with Netflix, but they're not having it. Okay, so thank you for that. It's come through. Thank you. Okay, so next slide, please. Please feel free to put things in the chat if anything else comes to your mind. So if your organization is planning to run activity during Race Equality Week, we'd love to shine a spotlight on them of your proposed activity by making a Race Equality Week spotlight organization. So it would be on the theme, what are you doing for Listen, Act, Change? Okay, so he's going to say we're taking part, this is what we're doing. And as you can see, senior leader will comment on it and colleagues. We'll feature your organization on our website and via social media in lead up to and during Race Equality Week. And we may have your voice in a Race Equality Week video as well. By spotlighting your organizations and plan activity, we can raise the profile of Race Equality Week and encourage and inspire other organizations to get involved, especially those down the road or competitors, etc. If your organization would be interested in being featured in this, please do let us know in the poll or contact us at info@raceequalitymatters.com. Next slide. We have a final and very exciting new solution that we will be launching for Race Equality Week, and you're the one first to hear about it. We're collaborating with the Chief Technology Officer behind the Trainline app and looking to launch a How Inclusive and Belonging is Your Organization? Because we know what gets measured gets done. If you analyze data and do something with it, it will make a difference. The tool we're developing will be affordable because we know a lot of people can't do at all, and it's more it's more than just a staff survey because it can dilute everything. By using the tool, what you'll get is a report highlighting where is disparity and inequality in your organization, whether to do with promotions, bonuses, recruitment, more. But as you can see straight away on there, where there may be. This is just one question. Yeah. We think it's great and it will be an affordable solution as so many organizations don't or are unable to gather D&I data to help them make informed decision about tackling race inequality and other inequalities. So this will be intersectional. Yeah. We're in the final stages and looking for a limited number of early adopters to test it. If your organization will be interested in participating in the free pilot and you'll get the report, please do let us know. And this will be coming up in the poll. Yeah, we'll send some more information on that. Next slide, please. Please also do take a look at our jobs board. This is to support organizations looking to reach a more diverse talent pool. Links to, and we do know actually a lot of people, ethnically diverse, are looking for opportunities to join a more inclusive organization. And next slide, we're running a 40% discount at the moment in the lead up and during Black History Month. So it's a discount to purchase credits to post jobs on the jobs board. Yeah, you don't have to use them during Black History Month. Before, once you purchase them, that they will last for a period of time. Okay, so get in quick. So on to the final poll. Please do complete this because again, this helps us understand what's working and importantly, there's some questions about how we can help you for Race Equality Week and what you're interested in. If we can launch the poll. Thank you all for contributing to the closing poll. It's fantastic to see that 96% of you would recommend today's event to others. But more importantly, question 2 is 95% of you heard something and learnt something that you will look to use, which is absolutely fantastic. 5% say not sure, but none of you say you didn't hear or learn anything that you will use. So yeah, thank you to all our contributors today. That's the speakers and then also yourselves working with each other. Question 3. Do you think your organisation will take part in Race Equality Week 2024? So early on we had 41% said you took part this year, 2023, but it's 77% of you saying you'll take part in 2024, which is fantastic. And then a further 14%, you can't make a decision. It's not your decision. So we do appreciate that. Yeah. Only 1% of you saying, no, you won't take part this year. And we'd love to help encourage you to get over the line. Question 4. Do you have a leader that makes a difference that would like to speak at a Race Equality Week event or future Race Equality Matters events? So 26% of you saying yes, so that's 1 in 4, which is fantastic. Only 13% saying no, the rest 62% saying not sure. So that's really good to hear, especially with the Lead the Change event that we're talking about. Question 5. During Race Equality Week, which of the following do you think your organisation will take part in? So 79% saying the 5-day challenge and 71% of you saying it's not Micah, which is brilliant. And then a further 5% of you saying you'll take part, but outside Race Equality Week. So you have really good engagement from you all today. So thank you so much for that. Question 6. Do you think the Bring Along a Leader event is a good idea? 87% are saying yes. 87%. Only 1% say no. The rest, 12%, are not sure. And we appreciate that because we only gave you a little bit of information on it. With the makeup of the event, how we're going to run it, do you think the idea to have breakout sessions mixing leaders with change makers will be good? Fantastic to see 84% of you think it's a good or great idea. So that's a fantastic 84%. Only 1% of you think it's not a good idea at all. So looks like we're in the right, heading in the right direction there. Next question, how easy will it be to get your leaders from your organisation with influence to share what they're doing to tackle race inequality and career tips at the Bring Along a Leader event? So 42% believe they would attend and they would share. That's 42%, which is brilliant. 45% say not sure, and we understand that because you might not be able to make the decision on their behalf. 4% think they would attend but not want to share, which we understand, and only 9% of you say they're not likely to attend. So this is a fantastic opportunity to Bring Along a Leader event for them to show their commitment to tackling race inequality, share what they're doing to be transparent and accountable, but also learn from yourselves as change makers. Getting your ideas of which of the following topics would be of interest for a Race Equality Week event. So at the top is 68% is how to move from words to actions. Apologies. At the top, 69% is driving organisation cultural change. And then we have 60% active allyship and 60% saying how to make it everyone's business in your organisation. And you can see the other stats there, 56% on microaggressions and 50% tackling bias recruitment. So thank you so much for that. And the final poll question, which of the things will be of interest? So the highest thing there is to be involved in the free pilot for the Race Equality Matters Inclusion and Belonging tool. So we will be in touch with you soon for that. 37% becoming a spotlight organisation. 26% you finding out more about Trailblazers. 22% of you could help us be a Race Equality Matters facilitator for Safe Space or Tea Breaks. So we'll be in touch with you. And then you can see 19% can recommend someone else to be a facilitator. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, we will get in touch with you all depending on what you've requested. Okay, so thank you so much for everything. And yeah, now to wrap up. Next slide, please. So you may have heard about Trailblazers. So this is in the pipeline. So we're in wave 4 at the moment. Applications are open. It finishes 23rd, if I'm right, of October. And there's a link in the chat for further information that Anna will be giving you. So we've already had, about 15 applications already. So plenty, still plenty of time to go. But just consider that. Next slide, please. Here are some accredited Trailblazer organizations making an impact. So, we've left white space for your logos to go on there. So, tell us where you want it to put it. We won't listen to you, but we'll put you on there. We have a couple of events coming up before Race Equality Week. Next slide, please. So do register for them. And we'll be sharing more about them and the new solutions and the guides in that event in November. Okay, and then also a Race Network Leaders and Future Leaders event. Now that one actually is what we're going to do is a really open discussion where we're going to find out how can we or any of our partners or those we engage with help your organization, you and your organizations, your race networks. How can we make a difference for you? So that could be a really interesting one, and we'll find out from now. We are looking at developing that online e-learning, if that's helpful for what we're learning as well, so you can all have access to that. Next slide, please. A huge thank you to our sponsors for all they do, and as I said, like Amy's logo is now on there, so there you are, and there's still space for a few more. We can't do this without their funding. This is. I can't say enough, and I appreciate some organizations are financially tied, but if your organization can make any contribution, that would be really helpful for us. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. do sign up to the website if you haven't registered already, so you can stay up to date. You'll get our newsletters and other information on what's around the corner and exclusive opportunities, because many of you have helped us build It's Not Micro and the 5-day challenge. So, and I think it's something you should all be really, really proud of for helping us make. It's a real legacy. And you saw the stats really on 88% think one thing will make a difference, 93% think will make a difference. But we can only do this with your thinking. And when we create the solutions, it's with a whole range of people, background, sectors, etc. And allies are very welcome as well. Okay, to be part of that. So I think that's it. So have a wonderful Black History Month. I hope the rest of ESEA Heritage Month goes well for you. I know Black History Month is a big and trying thing, but I think what we're trying to say is Black History Month is a month, and most organizations used to put it in a box and get it back out a year later. This is to keep the momentum going. So that's why we're having our events in November, and to keep it going. So you're all ready for Race Equality Week. So you've been a wonderful audience. Don't throw flowers, throw money, and we'll hope to see you all soon. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for the claps and the waves. Appreciate it all.